Today, we're going to embark on a truly revealing journey. This isn't just another video about identifying people who might be holding us back in life, or the usual talk about spotting false friends. It's much more profound than that. You see, often in our quest to pinpoint those who delay our progress, we forget to look at the most crucial person in the equation, ourselves. Yes, you heard that correctly. Today, we're going to explore the possibility that sometimes we might be the false friends we're so keen to identify in others. This video will unravel the subtle art of deception, not just in those around us, but potentially in ourselves too. We'll dive deep into the 7 red flags of false friendships. These aren't just indicators to spot in others, but traits to introspectively recognize in our own behavior. By the end of this video, you'll not only be equipped to identify those who may be impeding your life's journey, but also be confronted with a surprising truth about human nature and about yourself. Are we, perhaps unknowingly, guilty of the same behaviors we criticize in others? Our narrative will take you through scenarios you might find eerily familiar, moments that will make you question, reflect, and maybe even change how you view your relationships and actions. So, are you ready to embark on this journey of self-discovery and truth? Let's uncover the layers of friendship, deception, and self-awareness together. By the end of this video, I promise, you'll view your relationships, and maybe even yourself, in a completely new light. 1. Inconsistency in words and actions. This first red flag of false friendships takes us to the heart of the city, where life buzzes with endless energy. We find ourselves among a tapestry of faces. Each one carries a story, a charm, a warmth that draws us in. They're the friends, colleagues, and acquaintances we encounter every day. On the surface, they radiate support and camaraderie, but as we peel back the layers, a different picture begins to emerge. Imagine a person we meet in our everyday work life. Let's call them Alex. Alex, a person of enthusiasm, always the first to offer a helping hand. "Count on me," Alex says with a convincing smile. But as the days pass, promises fade into the background, replaced by silence. Calls go unanswered, messages unreturned. The support, once so eagerly offered, becomes nothing more than a distant echo. And then there's Jamie, a master of words, weaving assurances like fine tapestries. Yet when the time comes to stand by those words, Jamie vanishes, leaving behind a trail of unmet expectations and disappointment. This is the world we live in, a world where words are plentiful but actions scarce. Where promises, like autumn leaves, are vibrant at first, only to drift away with the passing wind. It's a reminder to us all, in a world of charming words, seek the rare treasure of consistent actions. 2. Lack of boundaries. In the ebb and flow of our daily lives, we often find ourselves in shared spaces, be it at work, social gatherings, or even within our own homes. Among these scenes of camaraderie and collaboration, there lies a delicate dance of personal boundaries. Consider this scenario. Enthusiasm and camaraderie are in the air, yet there's an undercurrent of discomfort. Watch how one individual, in their eagerness, leans in too close, their presence overbearing, unaware of the subtle flinches of their colleagues. Or take this social gathering, a scene of laughter and relaxation. Yet, notice how one person, amidst the joviality, casually picks up another's phone, thumbing through private messages. A breach of trust, veiled under the guise of playful curiosity. These are the moments where personal boundaries are tested, often by those who may not even realize their transgression. They are the well-meaning friend, the overzealous co-worker, the acquaintance who steps across the line of personal privacy without a second thought. In our interconnected world, the respect for personal boundaries is what maintains harmony and mutual respect. It's a silent agreement, a mutual understanding that while we may share spaces, our personal boundaries are ours to define and protect. As we navigate through life's myriad interactions, Let us be mindful of these invisible lines, ensuring comfort and respect for ourselves and those around us. 3. One-sided effort. In the ebb and flow of our daily interactions, there's a subtle yet significant dynamic often unnoticed: the balance of give and take in our conversations and relationships. This balance, or sometimes the lack thereof, can define the quality and health of our interactions. Imagine a typical conversation where the exchange of thoughts, ideas, and emotions should ideally flow back and forth like a harmonious melody. However, in reality, this isn't always the case. Now consider the essence of a one-sided effort. It's a scenario where the conversation or relationship is disproportionately powered by the energy of one party. In these dynamics, one person continually gives, be it their time, attention, support, or even emotional labor, while the other consistently takes, often without reciprocating or acknowledging the effort. This imbalance isn't always apparent at first glance, but upon closer examination, its impact becomes evident. Reflecting on this, it's essential to ask ourselves, are we the givers who consistently pour into others without receiving? Or are we, perhaps unknowingly, the takers who rely on the strength and support of those around us without offering much in return? This introspection isn't meant to assign blame, but to foster awareness and encourage a more balanced exchange in our interactions. The implications of a one-sided effort extend beyond just conversations. They seep into our relationships, affecting our emotional well-being, self-esteem, and even our worldview. Consistently being on the giving end can lead to feelings of exhaustion, resentment, or being taken for granted. Conversely, always taking might hinder our ability to develop empathy, self-awareness, and meaningful connections. This concept isn't about keeping score or maintaining a perfect equilibrium in every interaction. Instead, it's about cultivating a mutual sense of respect and reciprocity. In healthy relationships, there's a natural ebb and flow of giving and taking where both parties feel valued and heard. This invites us to reflect on our own roles in our relationships. It challenges us to consider if we're maintaining a healthy balance or if we've veered too far onto one side of this spectrum. By recognizing these patterns in our behavior, we can strive to build more fulfilling and equitable relationships, both for ourselves and those we interact with. 4. Undermining achievements. In this familiar setting, where achievements should be met with applause and cheer, there often lurks a subtle yet corrosive element: the undermining of accomplishments through seemingly harmless jokes. Imagine a scenario where someone shares a proud moment or an achievement. It could be anything from a small personal victory to a significant professional accomplishment. In response, a friend or colleague, perhaps with a smile, makes a comment that seems like a joke at first. But if we pause and listen closely, we realize that this joke carries a sting. It's a remark that subtly belittles the achievement, downplays the effort, or casts a shadow of doubt on the accomplishment. This pattern of communication, often overlooked or brushed off as just teasing, can have a profound impact. It can erode confidence, diminish joy, and create an environment where one's successes are not celebrated, but questioned. The art of humor is a beautiful aspect of human interaction, but when used as a vehicle to undermine, it can be damaging. This leads to a critical self-reflection. Are we, perhaps unintentionally, guilty of this behavior? Do we, perhaps without realizing, ever find ourselves diminishing others' achievements under the guise of humor? This video isn't just about recognizing these patterns in others, but also about introspecting our own behavior. It challenges us to foster a culture of genuine support and celebration for each other's successes. 5. Overdependence. In the complex web of human relationships, there's a delicate balance between support and independence. This balance, however, can sometimes tip into the realm of overdependence, particularly in the context of emotional support. It's a subtle dynamic, often rooted in the best intentions, but with the potential to become an unbalanced reliance. Consider the concept of emotional support in our interactions. It's natural and healthy to lean on others during tough times, to share burdens and seek comfort. However, when this leaning becomes constant and one-sided, it transforms into overdependence. It's when one person habitually looks to another to shoulder their emotional needs, be it for reassurance, decision-making, or validation, without fostering their own emotional resilience. This dynamic is worth reflecting upon. Are we perhaps, without realizing it, placing the weight of our emotional well-being on someone else's shoulders? Or conversely, are we the ones always on the receiving end of someone else's emotional needs, feeling the strain of their over-reliance? This introspection isn't about casting blame, but about understanding and adjusting our emotional interactions for healthier relationships. Overdependence can strain relationships, leading to feelings of frustration and exhaustion in the supporter and a lack of self-sufficiency in the dependent. It's important to strive for a balance where emotional support is reciprocal and empowering, rather than a crutch that hinders personal growth. This concept invites us to examine our own behavior in relationships. Are we nurturing our emotional independence? And are we encouraging the same in those close to us? Recognizing and adjusting patterns of overdependence can lead to more fulfilling, balanced, and healthy relationships, where emotional support is a bridge to empowerment, not a barrier to personal growth. 6. Gossip and betrayal. In the realms of friendship and trust, there are moments that test the strength of our bonds. Here, in this familiar setting of gossip and betrayal, particularly with false friends, manifests in a scenario all too familiar. In this familiar setting, where a trusted colleague confides a personal secret to their friend during a quiet moment. This secret, a burden shared in a moment of vulnerability, is meant to stay within the confines of this trusted friendship. However, as the day progresses, this sensitive information becomes the subject of hushed conversations in corners and behind closed doors. These scenarios underscore a common yet damaging aspect of social interactions: gossip and betrayal. It's a call to self-reflect. Are we the confidant who keeps the trust, or do we contribute to the whispers that break it? This narrative serves as a reminder of the value of confidentiality and the impact our actions have on the trust others place in us. In the realms of friendship and trust, there are moments that test the strength of our bonds. Here, in this familiar setting of gossip and betrayal, particularly with false friends, manifests in a scenario all too familiar. 7. Jealousy and competitiveness. Jealousy and competitiveness in friendships can be subtle yet significant red flags, often overshadowing genuine connections with undercurrents of envy and rivalry. When a friend's success, rather than being a cause for celebration, becomes a trigger for jealousy, it reveals a concerning dynamic in the relationship. This envy often masquerades as competitive banter or offhand remarks, but at its core, it is a reflection of insecurity and discontent. This competitive streak can transform friendships into silent battlegrounds where each achievement of one becomes a benchmark for the other, not to inspire, but to surpass. The joy of sharing successes gets overshadowed by a constant need to outdo each other, draining the essence of mutual support and happiness in each other's accomplishments. This narrative is not just about recognizing these traits in others, but also about introspection. Do we find ourselves feeling secretly resentful when a friend excels? Do we subconsciously turn their achievements into a yardstick for our own worth? Acknowledging these tendencies in ourselves is as essential as identifying them in others. The implications of jealousy and competitiveness are far-reaching, often leading to strained relationships, eroded trust, and a diminished ability to genuinely rejoice in each other's successes. Recognizing and addressing these traits fosters healthier, more supportive, and fulfilling friendships, where each person's achievements are celebrated as collective victories, not as threats to one's own sense of worth. Congratulations to all of you who've made it this far. Your tenacity is truly inspiring. Here's a secret. With each step you take on this journey, you're quietly building the skills and knowledge essential for a fulfilled life. If you haven't already, hit the like button and subscribe to our channel to continue growing with us. Thank you so much. In conclusion, when entangled in the grasp of false friendships, the impact on our lives can be profound and far-reaching. Dreams that once seemed within reach start to fade into the distance, delayed by the negative energy and distractions these relationships bring. Personal growth, too, finds itself stunted, hindered by the lack of genuine support and encouragement that true friendships offer. This realization often comes as a stark awakening, highlighting the crucial need to surround ourselves with authentic, uplifting connections that foster our aspirations and nurture our growth, rather than impeding it. In a compelling twist of our narrative, we, amidst deep reflection, uncover a startling truth. We too, perhaps unknowingly, have mirrored the red flags of false friendships in our own behavior. This epiphany is shocking and marks the beginning of a true journey, one of self-awareness and personal growth. We realize that to attract and nurture genuine friendships, we must first embody the qualities of authenticity and kindness ourselves. This evolution is not just about recognizing the flaws in others, but more importantly, in rectifying those within oneself. As our story wraps up, it leaves us with a profound lesson. The key to identifying and overcoming the pitfalls of false friendships lies within us. True change and personal growth start from within, in an ever-evolving journey of self-discovery. Let's remember to always be kind, stay aware, and remain true to ourselves and those around us.